22, train your boys. You're not. Put your medal on.
Go Bootsy.
Yeah. Good to see you. Yes, good. Well, good. Yeah. Here we go.
Would you like your boxes now? I'd like them. One for me, two for me, one for you.
Well, welcome everybody to Bar TV's coverage of the penultimate match today. It's the Rowlands Cup final, the best of the Colts in country rugby. And we've got the Newcastle side taking on the Central Coast side. Newcastle, of course, Central Coast, last year's finalists as well. And with us up here, we've got Barry Ruddy. Barry, how are you?
Yeah, excellent, thanks, and really looking forward to this game. These guys have had a cracker of a tournament so far, so this will be a beauty.
Because you oversee the Country Rugby Union here, and it's a credit to you guys for getting this tournament going again. It's been a fine tournament again this year, of course, in Armidale. Armidale, one of the heartlands of rugby in New South Wales, and this facility's been amazing, and the whole event's been amazing.
Yeah, really well run. You can tell by the number of volunteers and officials that are around to make that happen. And, you know, the Armidale New England Rugby Union zone and the Armidale clubs have done a fantastic job. Everywhere we go in country rugby, we get great facilities, we get great support, and it's been no different here. And really pleasing that it's a dry one after last year's bow or wet one.
Well, I guess, just getting to country rugby, a lot of things in the media, I guess, throughout the year saying the grassroots rugby's dead, but carnivals like this prove that it's not, especially, the last couple of matches, Central West, they've come back, they got relegated, I guess, the last year, and they're back. They came back and they showed good fight in the first game, and that last game was spectacular. Yeah, there's some outstanding footballers in the Central West, and look, every zone has exactly the same capabilities. What the key to it is to have all the players that are available come and play, and when you get that, then you have a really good tournament with your team. And some of the teams here, through injury or through other commitments that people have had, that they've had to have not their best teams here, their squads here, and then they get found out. You see that Central West squad, that's pretty much as strong as they can put on the field, and they'll be a strong addition to the Tier 1 competition next year. Yeah, definitely they will. And the Colts game, they showed a lot of fight. This Colts game here, the Rowlands Cup final, it's going to be a good one. Central Coast and Newcastle. That is the battle of the zones, the grudge match, and it's going to be an absolute cracker. The Newcastle side looked pretty good yesterday, and Central Coast as well. They came through, and it's going to be an interesting contest. Yeah, Newcastle are always very, very strong. They have sufficient numbers that they just really are a strong zone. But this Central Coast team, I watched them play yesterday, and there's a lot of individual flair. If they bring their A game, they will really stick it to Newcastle. And you're right, these two zones are neighbours, and there's nothing like beating Big Brother. Yeah, that's right. And of course, the Newcastle seen as the Silvertails of country rugby, I guess, and the Central Coast, as you mentioned, the little brother. Although I wouldn't say it to their faces, but it's going to be an interesting contest. And Newcastle already starting with the games, taking their time to get into the sheds. Yeah, ruining the program, Barry. Yeah, a little bit of that, but that's okay. I mean, we've got the two big games to go, so this is the first one of those. So when you look at these guys play, there's a lot of skill, and this is what gives us a lot of heart for country rugby, because these guys coming through, and they've pretty much all of them have come through the junior ranks. From a lot of them come through the under sevens and Wallers, all the way through 13s, 15s, 17s, and then into Colts and then into Opens. And there's a lot of talent, and people don't realise, but in New South Wales country rugby, we have nearly 19,000 registered participants across our seniors and our juniors. That makes us the largest rugby province in the world. Wow. That's what we actually run. That's amazing. And we all do it with volunteers. So
it's an amazing thing to do, and it's amazing when you get to carnivals like this and you see all these guys having some fun, playing some good footy, and taking away some silverware.
We see the Newcastle coach Stu Pinkerton just making his way up the tunnel, a casual coach to say the least, a very good, knowledgeable former player as well. He's come through these country programs himself, so knows what it's all about to win the match. And of course, Brett Marchant, the coach of the Central Coast side, a good coach in his own right too.
Absolutely, very good coach. And again, one of the things that we do in country rugby, we have all we want to do is provide an opportunity for everyone, whether it's a player, a coach, referee, official, to be involved in rugby at the highest level they want to be involved in. And we provide those pathways through championships like this. And out of this, obviously, we'll pick our cockatoos and our cockatoo Colts. And then we have a rep program that those guys do as well. And we took a team to the States on a development tour a few years ago, and some of those players are now playing for Randwick and playing in the Eagles teams and those sort of things. So it's about a pathway and development opportunities for everyone. Yeah,
definitely a true pathway, I guess, into that NRC program. Of course, the third tier of Australian rugby behind the Super Rugby sides, and definitely something to play for, especially in this Colts setup, because I believe they're looking to a 19s competition for the NRC this year as well.
Yeah, they are, and I think that, what we're looking to do is make sure we align with that, so that we have our clubs all playing the same, then our rep playing the same, so we can actually align and work our way through up to that ARU level. It's no point us having 20s or 18s when everyone else is doing 19s, so we've got to make sure that we align ourselves properly with that.
Yes, of course, Charlie Fielder leading the Newcastle side out. The captain for the Central Coast side will be Lapana Vitali. Very good player. He's a rugged breakaway, gets over the ball well. We'll see how they go.
From the Woy Woy Club, and some very, very good footballers out of that Central Coast zone. So Matt, his last name escapes me, the referee, very, very good referee as well. So the referees have also had a selection process through the carnival, and the best referees get rewarded with the best game. So Matt's got this one. I think Jared's got the main game. So a feather in his cap. Matt, Central West boy, comes from Cara.
Yeah, very good. And as you said, developing referees, players, touch judges, officials, a lot of volunteers involved in this setup. It'll be Central Coast kicking off through Caleb Pritchard with the ball in hand. It's the big one for the Colts, the Rowlands Cup final. Referee looking to the captains, and it's game on here. And that is a high, searching, deep kick as they go up. Oh, taken nicely. Alex Hills from the Merewether Carlton Club. Of course, Merewether Carlton getting behind their players in this carnival, watching in at home at the green room maybe.
Yeah, I think they would be. That's a very good start by the Central Coast side.
Yeah, very good kick-off. It's put the Newcastle side under pressure, and they'll get the scrum going forward, Central Coast. So
great reward.
Very good reward for some very good play.
Be interesting to see how this scrum goes. These two packs are pretty evenly matched, but I looked at the Central Coast scrum yesterday and they demolished a few sides, so I'll see whether they can do it to the Newcastle boys.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Phil Bradford, a very highly rated hooker, front rower. And of course, Darcy Ryan as well out there. Technique will be the key at this set piece, and both sides working and developing on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the areas of the game that the coaches spend so much time on, obviously. Very important part of the game to be done safely. But when it's a spectacle, it's part of the spectacle of the sport, the scrumming, and as an old second rower, I can talk about that. But
you never pushed, did you?
No, well, that's the front row's job. No, it was it's a very important part of the game, done safely and done well, and especially at these guys at this level, coming through the ranks up to the senior level, making sure they do it safely is very important. Well,
definitely, we saw it last night on Bar TV Sports in the Australian 20s. They absolutely demolished the New Zealand scrum, which is a good testament to what's being coached in Australia, and that could be a tight head. Yes, it is. Off the back, the clearing kick. They get themselves in a good position, though. This will be Pritchard, is it? No. It's Witt who started the match. Witt gets the kick through. Bauer, under pressure, getting the kick towards the sideline.
So keeping the field possession, Central Coast, which is good. They're still down that part of the field. They had a good scrum, but I don't know what happened in there. Just might have got kicked through by somebody accidentally, and they had a tight head. But it was a good scrum, good start by them.
It certainly was. So Central Coast still with good field position here. So Caleb Pritchard playing in at fly half here. Witts come to fullback. Comes off the top. Newcastle win it. The ball passed out early. Newcastle showing what they're all about.
So some good work here by the Newcastle boys. There's a good run out wide. Central Coast just need to watch their set pieces. They had the scrum and lost it, and they lost that line out. So you can't afford to drop those those set pieces against a team
the ball
like
comes
Newcastle.
through and looking to get on the ball there. The captain, Charlie Fielder. Charlie Fielder, of course. Been a good up-and-coming player in the Newcastle region for a few years. So another scrum on the line here.
Look for a big push here by the Central Coast.
Yeah, they had the good push early on. Witt playing in the 15 jersey. A change of personnel for the Central Coast side coming into the final. Good scrum here, controlled at the back. They take it off the back and they're going to go over. And that is the captain opening the scoring. So Vitali playing in at number 8. Scores a good try, and that's a good scrum, good set piece.
Excellent, and that's all about that, delivering on that set piece as well as the field position that they've had, and you could just see that open up. It was always going to happen. They got the push, started pushing backwards, and Newcastle going to have to work on that because these boys will take that every day.
They look a little bit shell-shocked, the Newcastle side, as we go to the replay here. It's a dominant scrum at the moment. Well controlled at the back. Saw the opportunity, seized it, scores nicely.
Well executed.
Young Cridland, he was no match for the big number 7 there. The captain, Vitali. So 5-0 the scoreline. The kick unsuccessful there. Newcastle trail 5-0. Central Coast have come out firing this Rowlands Shield final. It's a big high kick there coming through on the ball. And Central Coast open up down that far touchline. Inside ball. Here goes Galvin. Galvin's got daylight in front of him. And Galvin will score.
Back to back. That is sensational by
What
the
a
Coast.
try. That is absolutely sensational. And the Newcastle side, they look a little bit complacent, but take nothing away from the Central Coast. They've been playing very, very well up to this point with only 6 minutes gone.
Yes, you wouldn't have bet that they'd put 2 tries on that quickly, but they're up for it, the Central Coast. And Newcastle need to be on their game here. They need to really regroup and get some field position, get some patience about what they're going to do next.
Well, they see the replay there. The chase just wasn't there from the Newcastle side. And look at the flight of Galvin there.
He's quick, wasn't he?
Treading on air.
He's kicking it from about the same spot he just missed, so we'll see whether he's improved, learnt from anything out there.
Well, the breeze has picked up a little bit here, but not too much. Expecting showers late in the afternoon here, and that's a high kick, and that is unsuccessful, so the score remains 10-0.
Yeah, I've ordered the rain for after the main game.
Yeah, nice. Well, it is Sunday, it is the Lord's Day, so direct line to God.
And I don't know whether you've done this, but happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there today as well.
Well, there's never too much Happy Mother's Day. And that is out on the full.
Mistakes.
So mistakes creeping in early to the Newcastle Colts side. So we just see some of the Illawarra players for this Caldwell Cup matchup coming to the ground.
Work him, Chunky.
Defending champions, so be a great game this next one.
It will be a great game. It'll be a different game to last year, played in the bog that became Barrel. Barrel, of course, a lovely facility there, but the rain wasn't kind to us last year, Barry.
No, it happens sometimes. That's footy sometimes, but this is a much better weather for this event this time around, so it'll suit the fast-footed backs.
Well, one in particular, Sam Rouse for the Newcastle side, he's electric, but this is another great scrum by Central Coast. As Witt kicks the ball in behind the line. They look to counter it. Rouse is under pressure.
Good defense.
Yeah,
That's
great
good
chase there by the halfback, Toby Carver. Ball comes back, looking to kick. It's a wobbly looking kick down the field as Alec Dark, the ball bounces over his head. This is Pritchard, I think, coming through on the ball. Lockie Tonks takes it. So not back 10, says the referee.
Yeah, inside the 10, he didn't retreat.
Marchenko, he's a big man out there for the Central Coast.
Huge.
In the 17.
From Warnervale. So the first real opportunity for Newcastle down this end of the field. So let's see how they go.
Well, they're going to have to play composed here, not try and do something straight away, not panic. See Charlie Fielder, the ball scrappy off the back, knocked on by Lachlan Tonks. So that will be a scrum.
Yeah,
and Central Coast will have the advantage here.
Yeah, when you're under pressure sometimes, I often think that the short ball, the money ball's the way to go. That was a long ball. They haven't had much of it. They're down here. I thought it would have been better to consolidate. Making a change already.
So it looks like Spence has come on the field in the 20 jersey. Scrum just going down there, so Newcastle trying to dig their heels in.
They've got them under pressure. They need to be careful they don't get pushed off their own ball. This is where it's all technique.
Darcy Ryan, he's been under pressure on the far side so far. The bookend. Short arm to the Central Coast, well deserved and great scrum again. Vitali taking the quick tap, getting them going forward. Oh, look at the hit there. Did not see that coming.
Got him for not back 10 though.
Well, the hit.
It's a great hit.
That's the hit of the day so far. I think it was Cade Robinson in the 5 jersey. So the tap gets taken, so not confident with their line out, the Central Coast.
Surprisingly. Short arm.
Oh, was it? Sorry.
Yeah. Now they've got a full one.
So now this should march them down the field. My apologies.
The ref will actually start getting a bit annoyed if they keep infringing. I know the refs this weekend have been quite severe on those repeat infringements and quite happy to hand out the yellow cards if they keep doing it.
Well, we saw 2 yellows in the Colts preliminary final, I guess, earlier on today. The second tier final, sorry.
Yeah.
Both to Central West. Central West coming out in front. Unfortunate. Lack of discipline.
Yeah, good to see Central West back in. That's put them both back into the top tier, which is, I think, where they should be. So good to see for both. Just reward for effort. That's a sloppy line. That's sloppy.
Yeah, Tonks cleans that one up. The spread. Oh, turnover there, Central Coast. So Central Coast, really the dominant team at the moment here. Newcastle up against it. They play a ball flat.
Making good yards, though.
Set deep. Witt. He gets the ball. It's a long one. Oh, it's dropped. Referee's going to call a knock on. So that mistake could let Newcastle back in the game here at the University of New England. Of course, the sponsors involved as well, Barry.
Yeah, so we've got major sponsors for New South Wales Country Rugby Union. So we have Classic, we have Balanced Imaging, and many other sponsors that we need to keep doing what we do. Without them, we wouldn't have the game that we have. And the University of New England obviously well supported up here. The Wicklow Hotel, for example, which we took ourselves of that last night. And,
made yourselves available for that one, did you?
Yeah, and I think there was, I think we put a fair dent in their rum stocks, so it was good.
It's not country if it's not rum.
That's it.
I noticed
front row coming off.
a couple of people. Yeah, it is Marchenko coming off. So he's done the damage early on in the scrum. We'll see how the Central Coast side recovers here. They've got very good body height, very good technique, the Central Coast side.
Yeah, they've just got them under pressure in that scrum.
So it looks like Caulfield's come on the field in the 16 jersey. Of course, it's a big weekend of rugby, so a couple of changes late in the day for both sides. So the scrum is set. The halfback in Tonks is talking to the referee, and that's going to be a full arm penalty.
Yeah, the prop on this side, he went down. That's a fair call. I don't know whether Touchy gave him the call, but that's the right decision.
Dan Matthew, he's got a very good beard. The prop forward from the Central Coast for a young Colt.
Yeah.
Been growing that since he was 14. They go to the front this time, and Tonks dummies, gets through. They'll look to pick and drive here. This fielder comes into acting half. It's very slow ball, Central Coast. Good line speed there. Ball goes wide, fielder feeds on Will Frost. Of course, Will Frost, the first grade 5'8" for Newcastle University at the moment. Highly rated player coming through.
That's a great drive.
Oh, the ball spits out, so behind the ball now, Newcastle. They come over the top, Central Coast, and yeah, penalty there. So, unfortunate handling error, I guess, there, Barry.
Just a mistake. The ball just spat out for some reason, and yeah, they just couldn't control it, and right decision by the referee, so Central Coast get out of jail. He'll make them pay with his kick, too.
You don't hear that too often in the Central Coast. Of course, we love our Central Coast viewers on Bar TV Sport.
They've got their back line very deep.
Yeah, they are very deep, aren't they? Witt, he's about 20 back from the line out, so they'll look to get quick ball off the top here. Oh, spoiled by Newcastle. So a flat ball now. Taken into contact, and that's a good hit up there. Fielder using Hills. Hills, another one of these Colts playing first grade in the NHRU. Philippo Larvai there. Fielder advancing it. Oh, good tackle there. Darcy Ryan met in a very strong, very quick, causing them to get the box kick through, and oh, nicely taken.
He's hurt himself, though.
Yeah, he got up in his face there, Logan Morley. Good tackle, good finals tackle, Barry.
Yeah, good tackle. I don't know whether he's done a...
It's a rib, maybe?
Maybe he's just winded with a bit of luck. But you could see from that lineup, they lost that lineup, they were so deep that the Newcastle boys got a nice head of steam to charge into them. And they look better.
They're just not completing their phases here. Stu Pinkerton, I know, prides his sides on building and building pressure, and they just haven't done that at the moment. As we'll see a bit of a stoppage in play, 17 minutes gone, 10-0 to the Central Coast. Back-to-back tries early on.
Well-deserved lead, the Coast, and they're playing very, very well, and they're spoiling. You can see the speed. The ball's not coming out with any speed for the Newcastle team, and they want quick ball. They're just not getting it.
The Central Coast region, very strong Colts-wise. Newcastle, of course, they've got 5 teams in the Colts competition at the moment. But a lot of the players playing, I guess, in Premier 1 rugby as well, for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these Colts be playing first grade. You can't
And
enter
why
on
not?
that. Well, exactly. I've always said you're good enough, you're old enough.
Well, that one not completely straight, but they get it. It looked very scrappy. Rob Peden was the man on the deck.
He's buried.
Owen Turner tries to pick and drive. There's the man that was winded, Morley, so good to see him back on deck. They'll pick and drive again. This is good stuff. Central Coast, the ball flies out. Knock on. Hills has it. Hills slips. They're a little bit bunched here, the Newcastle side. Good fend there.
Excellent thing, because they're up in their face defensively. They're coming off the line.
Such good line speed by Central Coast as they advance to play. There's trouble now. Out wide, little kick in field. Funny bounce. Rouse comes for it. Rouse doesn't get the ball, and they give themselves up in the end, Barry. That's inexperience.
Yeah, little knock on in there as well, but yeah, I'd hate to be a fullback for those bounces. That would be a nightmare.
Yeah, we saw Rouse. He's come from the far wing to get himself involved on the far side.
That's the best passage of play they've had, Newcastle. It came off some nice phase play, and then down the wing and kick back in behind. Good to see.
Bar TV Sports bringing you all the action here today. Country finals Sunday at the University of New England. Armidale, if you want to get involved in the game, get on Twitter at Bar TV Sports. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Yep, Bar TV Sports as the kick goes downfield. Not the best kickers. He watched it bounce over. I would like to see him attack that ball, Barry.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. There didn't seem to be any defence coming up to him. I thought he would have had an opportunity to get that and maybe swing it back the other way, but took the safety first option.
It was Cridland on the wing on the far side. Newcastle get the ball, though. They come up with it through Hills. He gets nice ball back to the half there. Tonks. Good fend there by Filippo Larvi. Coming around the corner. Frost gets a ball away. Chips through for Rouse. Rouse wasn't really ready for it. Probably would have been better to set up for the next phase there, Barry.
Yeah, I think so. So we've got another line out here. You can see the 13 for the Newcastle team, Filippo Levi. He's a very good attacking weapon for them. Give him some space, he'd be hard to stop.
Of course, big DC Johnson out there as well in the grey headgear now. Big body, good runner of the ball. Will be a Central Coast throw. This aspect of their set piece hasn't been the best so far. They go to the back and they win that one nicely. But not straight, says the referee, so pressure. Attacking the line now, Newcastle. They're going to have to get this scrum right.
It's amazing how you lift when you're only 5 or 10 yards from the opposition try line, so I expect to see a better showing by the Newcastle boys here.
So we see Will Frost. He's out there. He's an Armidale boy originally as well. Is Frost for the Newcastle side. He's got that thigh heavily taped. Perhaps copped a cork yesterday.
I've lost that.
So unfortunate there, short arm.
They were going early, trying to get the dominance.
Didn't quite catch the call of the referee there, so
went early.
Trying to get ascendancy, pushing the line, pushing the boundaries. And that touch finder's coming straight for us, and nice catch in the crowd.
They just can't get any rhythm, Newcastle. They just can't get any rhythm together.
That one comes to the back. Nicely taken by Tonks. Frost involves Rouse around the corner. They go the same way on the far side. But the Central Coast adjusts well. Cridland's caught. Fielder's looking for it. Frost with a long ball. Playing in tight now is Robinson. Gets a ball away. And this is going to be a try to Rouse, who comes all the way back on the wing. And Rouse scores a try. He scores plenty of them. So Newcastle now back in the game.
Just quick ball, quick recycle ball, and then side to side, and a couple of one-on-one good hits from the in attack from the Newcastle boys. And in the end, they just had the numbers and dove over nice and easy on the corner.
Well, Robinson was the man in the middle, the big number 5, who shrugged off a couple, and Rouse scored an easy try in the end. I believe he scored 4 tries before half-time in one of his matches yesterday, so can find the line. Top try scorer for Merewether Carlton last year as well.
That's what you want in a finisher.
Started playing first grade at the age of 17.
Excellent.
And he's going to take the goal kicking too. This will be interesting. This is one aspect of his game I don't know about, Barry.
Me either, but one thing I've never done is kick for goal.
Not once. Not ever.
Once, and it was a disaster.
Rouse comes in. And that one is, as they call in the NFL, incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to strike it well, but just didn't have anywhere near the direction.
So now, 10-5 the score, Central Coast in front.
That'll give them a lot of heart, Newcastle. That's the first time they've really had some quality ball and they made them pay.
There's been a little bit of a shift in momentum. Newcastle's been camped in the Central Coast half for quite some time. Central Coast players almost in front of the kicker. I won't say in front of the kicker. But they're playing with good line speed as Fielder takes on the line that time, and over the ball nicely was Dan Matthew. Well done. That's good stuff from the big prop forward. As now there's trouble out wide. We know there's speed to burn out wide for the Coast. But Hannell took it in the forwards. Nice strong run there by Peden. We'll take it high there, yeah, referee. Wasn't much in it though, Barry.
Nothing in it at all, but good rule. You can't go anywhere near the head. It's a good rule.
Yeah, definitely. And Toby Carver, he's one of those players that ducks under as well, weaves around.
Yeah, it can be hard, the little guys, when they sort of do that, but yeah, it's a rule that you just can't touch the head. So nothing in it, no one hurt, but yeah, stay away from that. Not sure what the touch he's seen here.
Yeah, there's something.
Should get my nomenclature right, the assistant referee.
Big man too, in his own right.
Would have been a decent second row in his day, I'd say. Maybe front row.
Very casual with the sunglasses out there. As we look at the replay. Ball comes out, good tackle. Just looking for the indiscretion the touch judge has come in for, and halfback on halfback reaches for the head. The Central Coast is going to... Is there going to be a penalty reversal, maybe? This will be interesting.
Yeah,
didn't get the audio on that one from the referee, so...
Obviously, the assistant ref's seen something, and it was strong enough to reverse the penalty, and now Newcastle will be well on the attack.
The penalty reversal, so Newcastle set to attack the line here. Fanua gets the ball in. Stepping through, nicely taken by Owen Turner, so not capitalising there, Newcastle, as the ball comes out. And Hannell's driven back. Newcastle almost come up with the counter ruck there.
Need to settle a bit here, Coast.
They need someone to take control in the middle. Oh, good tackle there by Alex Hills, cutting them in half. Playing good tight rugby here, though, the Central Coast.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lift in that tackle. I don't know whether it was that bad, but he's hurt. He's asking for some help from his ARs.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that. He's getting some attention. Owen Turner.
He hasn't really moved.
As we look here at the tackle, so Alex Hills comes out of the line, gets him around the body, and he's just landed a bit awkwardly as I think his players come over on top of him as well, just there in the last instance, just causing his body to roll around. He looks like he's done his shoulder.
Yeah, it looks like a shoulder, but he's moving around, so he's fine that way. It looks like he's just done his shoulder. Could be a stinger. Both of the ARs said there was nothing in it.
Collarbone, maybe. So the crowd's been slowly building all day here, Barry. It's a testament to the University of New England. Great facility here.
Yeah, excellent, and great grandstand. And oh no, he has got him for a bit of a lift in that tackle. That's the penalty, but he's staying on the. Oh, he's coming off now. Coming off. He looks fine though.
Maybe a collarbone. It looked awkward around that region. So
get a bit of treatment from the physio, and he might be
hasn't
like
found touch though. Ball bounces back as Cridland now gets the ball inside to Fielder. Fielder punches it down. Witt now attacking on the counter, tries to palm off, and both players go hurtling towards the ground. Advantage now being played. It'll be another penalty to Central Coast. So penalties really stifling this match at the moment, Barry.
The Newcastle team they've lost all discipline. I don't know what the penalty count would be, but they're not disciplined. They're making too many errors, and they're just letting Central Coast dominate the game.
Not really playing, I guess, intelligent rugby at the moment, are they? As
not
we
like
look back
they
at
used
the crowd.
to from Newcastle, not at all. Their coach would be, can't wait for half time to have a good chat to him, I'd say.
Stu Pinkerton, he's a quietly spoken man. I can't see him really delivering a full-blown rocket, but some terse words maybe.
I think just, get back to their game plan. Cut out the mistakes.
They just haven't really had any, apart from that Alex Hills tackle before, no sting in defence. They're not really urgent in getting up off the line at the moment. It's an uncharacteristic Newcastle at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. They're normally much better drilled than that. They don't. I mean, this is more mistakes than I've seen from a Newcastle team in probably 3 country championships. So they'll cut that out of their game, and they'll certainly come back, I'm sure. But at the moment, they're just giving Central Coast a leg up.
Well, they've got the scrum here. They've been going backwards, and that one going down on the near side. Sikiotis, I think, lost his feet maybe.
Yeah, the refs come around this side to keep an eye on that.
Caulfield. It's been a pretty good battle between the two 16s on this side. Oh, good scrum by the Central Coast. Wheeling it round, but go too far. I don't really understand that one, Barry.
I don't know what that one was about either. It looked like they were dominant and they wheeled them. Don't know what the penalty was for. He sort of said pushing through.
Maybe taking a step back. Who knows?
Because with the law change, there's no great benefit to that anymore. You don't get the put in.
Well, they get the penalty anyway. Newcastle gets them up towards halfway. There's 4 minutes remaining for the half. 5-10's the scoreline.
Let's see whether they can do something here.
Ball comes off the top, and again, Tonks is forced to clean up the scraps. And they're just not getting around the ball here, Barry. This Newcastle side.
No, and it's so slow. Way too slow. Now they've got a penalty.
They'll blow it. But that's a bit of a let-off there.
3 phases went nowhere.
They're not really showing ambition to advance the ball at the moment. The Newcastle side, as Frost gets them down the field.
Yeah, a good line-out win and a good drive from the forwards would be something that they could come off the back of that, go into half-time with that, and then come out again in the second half. But
well, 10-all at half-time wouldn't really be an indicator, I guess, of how the game's gone. Central Coast probably deserved to be in front coming into half-time.
Yeah, definitely. Had the field position and the better of the game so far.
As the bench for the Newcastle side warming up comes to the back, and Central Coast come up with it. So again, can't complete it. The Newcastle side had a good chance to put pressure on. So now they're on the back foot. Newcastle's the ball comes back to Witt, and Witt gets the ball well downfield, out on the full though, so they'll get another chance here, Newcastle.
Yeah, it was
They're
pass
running
back
out
in.
of chances.
Pass back in.
Yeah, they were well out of the 22 there. And Rousey's fairly wide on this near side. They go to the back this time again. They come up with it as Frost takes it to the line, goes back. Rouse has a bit to do. Palms off. Sticks to the tackle though. His opposition winger in Starkey. Fielder now. Ball to Hills. Hills hoists one into them. Fielder cuts one out. Sikiotis. They go again to the left. Kick in behind. It's a wasteful one. And not threatening at all.
No, that was a bit of an anticlimax. They need to do much better than that, more than that.
Nicely taken there by Bauer. Bauer looking to counter, looking to bounce one off. He had support. They're going to have to get around now, Newcastle. They pick and drive. Almost held up in the tackle as they come over.
That was much better.
So Spence now. Go back towards the right. Fielder has no options. They're just not urgent enough here, Newcastle. There's
They've turned it over.
There's no impact from their forward runners, really, is there?
No, the line speed from Central Coast is certainly worrying them, and their defence. I mean, they had one defensive lapse where the Newcastle 5 bumped off the player, and that gave them the overlap, and they scored. But other than that, they just have not been able to penetrate anywhere.
Well, Fielder really needs to take the game on and really starts to need to organise his forwards around him and get them punching some holes and running a little bit wider. He really needs to take control, the fly half.
And I think they also need to get themselves set and have much quicker ball to try and get these Central Coast guys turned around. Another scrum goes down.
As we see Tonks talking to the touch judge on the sideline, trying to extract a penalty, claiming that Caulfield's pulling the man down. So we'll have a good close look at this one.
Yeah, and the ARs can actually tip the ref if he sees something.
He's having a good look anyway this time. He's holding it up, Caulfield this time, so erring on the side of caution. Witt, spiralling kick. What can Cridlin do? Cridlin running forward. He's held up though, good strength shown by Central Coast. Gets him to ground. A little bit slow again as Tonks standing in at fly half. He's been good. Spence takes another hit up. Here's Fielder. He's got some wide runners this time. Robinson still going. He's a powerhouse when he gets the chance to run the ball, is Robinson. Tonks under all sorts of pressure. Peden coming through there. So Fielder again forced to go in there. Fanua getting a ball away. So they're set now to the right. They've realigned the Central Coast again. The ball very slow.
Yeah, not deep enough either.
Yeah, Filippo Lava just didn't have any room to get those big legs going. Fielder's got his forwards outside him. Goes to Hills. Oh, goes behind him.
Great defence from Central Coast. They didn't panic. They just marked up, took their man, and always looked in control of that defensively.
No penetration again by Newcastle. So Central Coast have the ball. As they take it forward, they're doing the gritty, tough stuff well. Box kick, getting them well down the field. Rouse, he's under pressure. Takes it nicely. Goes up centre field. He's quick. He can't link up, though. Oh, coming in from the side, maybe. Referee says play on. Trouble out wide. They go to the man in Credlin. Credlin, he's fast, but he's run down. Good Cover defence, desperation stuff by the Central Coast.
Coast need to get back and line up.
Ball comes out wide. Centering the ball now.
Great try.
Again, there's no clean out there by the forwards. They need to have some sting at the breakdown. There's none there. Flick ball out the back. Hills has Rouse. Rouse, he can find the line. Rouse, and he scores! What a try in the corner on the stroke of half time. I don't think he's going to award it. We've got to get the replay on this.
He doesn't look confident.
The assistant referee's having a chat. If we can get the replay here, we look at Rouse. He jumps, he dives, and that's a try for me.
And awarded.
Yeah, he's awarded the try. Great put down by Rouse in the corner.
Central Coast just seemed to have that covered and then just went to sleep with that that kick through. They didn't line up and there was just numbers on the edge and they paid the price.
Good work on the short side again, playing towards Rouse. Hills came up with a good play. Good composure shown, but it's really lacking the penetration this match, this Rowlands Cup.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of...
no starch.
No, not at all. And I think that, half-time, both coaches are going to talk to their respective teams about lifting the intensity. The Newcastle team looks like they've been coached to not flood at the breakdown, to not overcommit, but that's costing them because the Central Coast boys are going in there and pilfering their ball or making it very dirty. Yeah,
definitely, and the ball's really slow as coming in for the kick, and unfortunate Bauer there just not making enough of it. We're going to go to half-time now. The score locked up in the Rowlands Cup final on Bar TV's coverage of the Country Finals Day. We'll take a quick break and come back with you shortly.
On field 2 with the game suspended temporarily due to injury. Score is Central North 20. The bar, barbecue, canteen, coffee and cake stall is still all operating. Toilets are located at the rear of the grandstand on ground level. The entire grandstand area is non-smoking, ladies and gentlemen, and the alcohol licence is on the western side of the ground fence. We ask you to respect your fellow patrons. New England Rugby proudly sponsored by Wicklow Hotel, APJ Law, Robertson Morrow Chartered Accountants, FM 100.3, Sports Power, the University of New England and Armidale Community Council. New England Rugby would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our volunteers who've worked so tirelessly over this weekend, including Armidale North Rotary, who have run the bar, barbecue and gate for us, our ball boys and girls who have been fantastic in their efforts, Armidale Blues and Netball who provided the cakes and slices, St John's Ambulance who have been kept busy doing a wonderful job for us, and of course our referees and match officials. Thank you very much. We'd also like to thank all players, supporters and team members. The spirit of this carnival has been fantastic. The ethos of rugby has been upheld and everyone should be congratulated on the behaviour. Thank you very much. Today's matches are being live streamed by Bay TV. You can find these the streams on the Bar TV website on YouTube, Bar TV on YouTube. Links are to be found at Country Rugby Union's webpage. Country Rugby Union, sponsored by Classic, Best Western, Gilbert, International Sports Tours, New South Wales Rugby, AGL, the Rugby Club Sydney, Wisdom Advertising Design, Elastoplast Sport, and Balance Image Studio. And again, repeating, live streaming of today's matches can be found on the Bar TV YouTube page by following the links on the Country Rugby Union website.
Well, we're back here for the second half of action in this Rowlands Cup final. Newcastle taking on Central Coast. We're locked up in a gritty affair, or I wouldn't call it a dour affair just yet. With us from Country Rugby Union, Barry Ruddy. But it's a slow affair. Central Coast doing a very good job of slowing down this breakdown. So Newcastle not getting any quick ball, take nothing away from the Central Coast. They look good with ball in hand, and their scrum has been the dominant one out there.
Yeah, their tactics have been first class, Central Coast. They've actually frustrated the Newcastle boys. Their scrum is good, but you know, it's a funny old game. You would say that the Central Coast have been on top, and yet it's 10-all.
10-all at the University of New England. It's been a great weekend of rugby here for Country Weekend. Of course, the University of New England providing a brilliant backdrop here in Armidale, one of the heartlands of Country Rugby Union in Australia.
Yeah, 9 zones, 17 teams. We bring about 600 people to town, so it's a great event, great carnival.
So we see now it's Frost with the ball in hand as Frost kicks the ball. It's going towards that touch line. Stays in the field of play. Knocked back, says the referee. So Newcastle come up with it. Fielder gets the ball, takes the line on, slices through. He's through. Here he goes. He's got one to beat. He just can't get the ball away. And doesn't hold on to the ball either. They come up with the ball in any case. Players on the outside here, Newcastle. They're close. They're going to be held up.
Puts him in the touch.
Pushed into the touch line.
But they're going to take the knock on and the scrum. There's a little bit better play. You could see straight away from Newcastle. More urgency at the breakdown and trying to get that ball out quicker. So obviously listen to their coach at half-time.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw quite an animated conversation in both huddles down there.
Patience, win your set pieces, and you know, make sure that you defend well when you need to. That's the 3 things the coaches would have been talking about at half-time.
So Cridland and Frost lined out to the left. Fielder to the right. Be good to see big DC Johnson picking up from the back here. Oh, and that.
I think he's had enough, this ref.
Yeah, he's going to go to the card, is he? Yes, he is. They're going to have a chat at the very least. I think it's Logan Morley, is it? Do you go for points here early in the second half? I know the Newcastle side, it's not really how they play.
No, they're going to go the points. I mean, the options were pretty limited because the scrum's not dominant enough to take that option. The lineouts have been scrappy, so you could just tap and go.
They haven't really built phases either, have they?
So, I mean, I'd probably say that's the right thing to do if I'm a coach. I'd want them to take the points while they're on offer. In a final, they're normally tight.
Playing for country jerseys as well. Of course, those sides being announced on Tuesday.
Yeah, so we've got squads that we'll work through today, but we just want to make sure that everyone's available, and we'll announce those squads on Tuesday. So there's been some great talent on offer this weekend in both the Colts and the Open. So we'll come up with some very, very good footballers for the next phase of the rep season for country rugby. Across
all divisions as well. It's a good system Country Rugby Union has in place, I think, with the 2 tiers.
Excellent.
It encourages teams to improve each year. And that ball almost going out. Sam Rouse, I think, had the foot out. So it'll be a Newcastle throw.
Yeah, but Central Coast down this end of the field, they just have this knack of taking this field position. And
they go to the back again, Newcastle. Scrappy. And I just don't understand why they're doing this, Barry.
No, the coaches would be going greyer by the minute, unless it's a coach's tactic. But you know, you'd want to be winning these set pieces, not giving that up. So they're just giving the ball back to the opposition via the scrum on their 22.
So on the 22, as you mentioned, Witt, he's fairly deep. He's got Hannell and Dark outside him.
You want to make sure this is a good scrum. He doesn't want to get the eye of the referee again.
It's a better scrum by Newcastle. The ball comes out. Almost spoiled. Inside ball to Hannell. Witt's calling them around him. They go that way.
It's much
So
quicker and
Central
more
Coast,
controlled.
yeah, definitely the quicker, with more enthusiasm at the moment. Tom Morley coming up with a mistake.
Forward pass.
Just missed timing his run there.
Yeah, you can see that in some of these rep teams, even though they've been training, they don't play together. So sometimes the timing is a little bit out.
Well, it's the pride of the coast versus the pride of the Newcastle Hunter region in this Rowlands Cup Colt final. 13-10 the score. Newcastle edged ahead earlier for the first time. And for the first time in this half, they're under pressure on their own scrum. And this is better stuff by the Newcastle side. Goes back. They choose to run it. Rouse steps through one, steps through. Loses the ball, though, so now the Central Coast. Long ball out wide. The pop ball there could be an obstruction, but no.
Didn't affect the play. I think that's right. Now
That's
they've
an
got a
advantage
penalty.
play to Central Coast. The ball pops up for Dan Matthew. Now
Numbers.
they'll use the width of the field here. Newcastle do well to realign. They're struggling to get back on side, though, Newcastle.
Yeah, he's going to come back for the penalty. I thought he just passed it a little bit early out there. I thought he could have gone on and taken the man on a little bit more before he drew the man in and then passed out to the winger.
Well, they were set fairly flat as well. Not really an opportunity to run with pace and depth onto the ball.
They're getting the line out.
They are. They're about 5 out now. 10 out, sorry. Not getting the maximum distance there. 13-10 the score.
I'd be looking to pull this down and drive it over.
Newcastle have to compete for this. They go to 2. It's spoiled. And Newcastle forced the knock on there, so they had to get up and compete, really, because the drive was on there, Barry.
Absolutely, and they managed to spoil it, which is good work by the Newcastle team. But both sides with their set pieces, they're just not making use of them the way they should.
So another scrum to be set. As we see the captain, Vitali, coming on. Played last year, Vitali. Good up-and-coming prospect from the coast.
Yeah, from the Woy Woy club, I think.
Beautiful Brisbane water.
Their scrum's improved since half-time, Newcastle.
Yeah, certainly has. That ball out in front of Fielder, and that's a poor clearing kick as the bounce might favour Newcastle. Oh, knock on. Referee says play on. So getting away with one there, Newcastle. Oh, the ball.
Oh, that's a bad mistake.
That is a crucial error here in this Rowlands Cup final. Ball comes wide now. Bailey coming on the field now. Peden takes one forward. Good run by Peden. He's been aggressive all day. They go again. They're playing right at this Newcastle side. And that's been the difference, really, hasn't it? The directness.
A little bit of execution they didn't get right there. That was all. Right ideas, quick ball. But the runner didn't really look like he wanted it.
May have been the decoy runner.
Maybe.
You've got to be ready for them, though, especially in a final, to claim country's finest. New South Wales country's finest.
Making a replacement here, 23. Alex Lloyd, is it, from Newcastle Uni, about to go on?
Yeah, Alex Lloyd coming on. Big Fanua coming to the field as well.
Still got the field position, the Coast. They just need to get some points out of this.
So this will be interesting with the university combination out there in midfield of Frost and Lloyd. Lloyd very sharp on his feet. He's a young slip of a lad, though.
Still having trouble with these scrums. The ref is not happy.
Yeah, it's been a test all game for him, hasn't it? And surely he's going to peg someone for an infringement soon from either side.
You'd think so.
Could go either way. Oh, good scrum by Newcastle. Oh, popped off the back. Here comes Peden stepping off the right.
Oh, but he's got a penalty.
Oh, it's a penalty for offside, is it?
No, not bound.
Oh, not bound.
So he said he's come away from the scrum. He wasn't bound, and that's why he's got the popped up ball.
Which...
That's a let-off.
Is a massive let-off. He was one-on-one with the fullback, as we see there. Yeah, we see the replay. The ball was almost out. He just went that fraction too early. But look at the step. He had the fullback beaten for everything. Here's Bradford. Goes to the back. Oh, not the best throw. Not straight.
Not straight.
And again, another error at the set piece by the Newcastle side. Not having the best day out there.
No, I can't remember the last time they won a line out.
I don't think they've won one all day.
Not yet. I feel like you're only out 4. Throw it to your 4.
I feel like throw it to 1. You know you're in trouble when you start throwing to the prop forward at the front. They're not quite there yet. So here comes another scrum. They've been engaging all game.
That's a better set.
A little bit higher, both sides this time.
Nice ball.
Yeah, good ball off the back, and there's trouble out wide now. And the ball going forward. They just had to catch and pass there. These young Colts. Galvin coming around to the far side.
Plenty of pace.
Should have just kept the ball, and on that occasion, drawn a man.
This is Harry Drennan from Terrigal. He's a lump. Look at him. Looks like a hooker to me.
Good hooker's body.
Back to Silk, brother.
He comes from Terrigal.
This
I'd say he'd be on the long board.
Yes. This next 10 minutes is going to be interesting. This is where who wants this game the most.
Yeah, 46 down, so still a fair way to go in the match. "25 minutes, in fact."
Oh, it's a tight head.
Oh, good scrum again by the Central Coast. So they come back with a good win, turning back on the inside. Met with some good defence was Hannell.
Still managed to get that ball.
As they come over.
It's a little hand there. It's touchy, got a flag out. Looks like she has.
Yeah, she's got a flag out. Maybe she's calling. Is it offside? I'm not sure.
Don't know.
She's going to get on the comms, though.
Looks like it. Yep.
And someone's going to get called out.
She saw something. I did see a hand, but I don't know whether that'd be something a touch judge would go in for.
Well, the University of New England is getting its good share of airtime on Bar TV Sports. Here's the officials are out in the middle having a chat. 13-10 the score.
Great support by UNE for our referees and officials. They do an excellent job, and great support from the UNE to them.
I was saying earlier on, if I was going to have my time again, I'd probably come out here and study.
Yeah, there was a lot of the uni students out last night having a good time.
Joining in the festivities of country weekend, I'm sure.
They were.
Any excuse for a student. So penalty to the Central Coast. No one receiving a caution.
No great signal either, so I'm not quite sure what that was for.
Finding touch now. Sam Evans playing in 20.
So let's see a good line-out win and let's see what they can do.
Comes in. Oh, Newcastle steal the ball. So both sides, the set piece has really been terrible today. Oh, great tackle on the close side. Cridland had a bit to do. Picking and driving now. It's Bradford. They're holding up good strength in the tackle, shown by the captain there, Vitali. Digging for the ball. Oh, he blew that a bit early, I thought.
He didn't think it was going to come out, did he?
Well, there's a body in between the ball. Taken in by Newcastle. It was a strong run.
Yeah,
It's what the Newcastle side needed. They need some sort of enthusiasm out there. So the Newcastle defensive line set very compressed, opposed to this Central Coast attacking line who are spread very deep and very wide.
Still having trouble with this scrum.
He's done well officiating here.
Yeah, he's a good ref, Matt.
So we see the scrum set. It's been a great contest all game here at this set piece as Newcastle come through on the ball. Oh, the leg comes out there by Tonks. I don't know about that. Quick ball, nice ball, but it goes to ground. So they lose a few metres there, the Central Coast side, but again, the desperation, the breakdowns there for the Newcastle side as Big Dan Matthew takes another hit up for this Central Coast side, getting them forward on the front foot.
Yeah, that's a good run.
The ball going behind, it'll be put on the boot. As Cridland turns to chase, Bauer goes over his head. It's trouble. Oh, they go without it though. The Central Coast, Hannell, all he had to do was pick it up and he was away. So now coming through. Here's that man again, Matthew, offloading.
Much more desperation in defence there.
So the ball wide, Peden gets a long ball out, goes to no one. Rouse pounces on it, not rolling away, so another penalty. And you'd think they'd probably take the shot at goal here to lock it up.
I think the trainer's on the field with just that, kicking tee.
He's certainly made the decision for him there. They were going to go for the line.
He was. He looked up and saw, no, you're doing this. Yeah. So that should lock it up.
Throw it at him. It's an easy kick, but it's a pressure kick. 13-10 the scoreline, 51 down, 19 minutes remaining.
Not taking a lot of time.
So Pritchard comes in, hits it. Oh, look at that. That's straight as they come.
Sweet.
Didn't need the bend, didn't need the fade. That's just straight out the black dot stuff. So 13 apiece. And it's game back on here. Newcastle probably want to send the ball deep here, I'd imagine.
Really important, this restart for both sides, to have this restart go very well.
The ball's been played all Newcastle's end. So not really getting the rub of it at the moment as we see Frost getting the ball, kicking down nice and deep. And that's the kick they needed. They're looking to play off their line, though, the Central Coast. The chase wasn't the best by Newcastle's. Rouse, fingertip control there by the winger. Bowers on the inside, stepping inside. He's around one. Rouse, he's very quick. He's elusive. He's strong. Gets them over the 22.
Great run.
Gets them well into good field position, but advantage now played to the Newcastle side as Rouse
Not
couldn't
releasing.
control the ball and couldn't release it. They've been marched as well. So big let off there for Central Coast, and discipline killing this Newcastle side.
Yep, that was unforgivable, getting marched. Not sure what the penalty is in the Colts world, but I know in my world that was a jug.
You don't get marched in May, is what they say. And that's where we are. The autumn trees are starting to get their colour as well. It's beautiful here at the University of New England.
Much better.
Ball off the top. Going for the big shot there, not coming up with it. And good strength shown in the tackle, but they do get to the ground. Central Coast go towards the left. Swivel. Here's Matthew again. He's really picked up the work rate in the second half, Matthew.
Yeah, good run.
Witt advances the ball. Stepping. Hannell can't get the ball on the outside, though, to his centre partner, Dark.
Got a player injured in the way. That was much better play by the Coast. Off a good line-out win.
Yeah, took the ball forward. They do look the better side when they keep the ball and get phases together.
Yeah, absolutely.
This Newcastle side just going backwards all day. As we look at the replay here. Oh, yeah, just getting a head knock, maybe, or a shoulder. Liam Bowden. He's got the thumbs up, though. I think it was a shoulder. He shakes it off.
Just watch him there. We're very, very strict on the concussion rule these days. Very strict. So any signs of concussion, that's the end of his tournament.
Yeah, it looks more like a shoulder injury, though.
Yeah, so as long as he's okay.
He seems to be stretching it there, so I know the Newcastle officials, they also take the concussion rule very seriously.
A very strong discussion at the team managers meeting on Friday night, making sure everyone understood that. It's all about player safety.
Ball comes in almost as this scrum is set. Newcastle look to push on, but it's held well by the Coast. Witt getting a ball out the back, and here they come now. On the outside, there's space, and oh, the last pass to McManus just wasn't there.
You can see that attacking flare out there. There's some speed in those outside backs.
So much speed.
Just that last execution.
Just
that last
overrunning
pass.
the play a little bit. Needs to give himself half a foot on that far side as we look at the replay. Just the no-look pass there, and he overran the play as well.
And I think he just needs to draw that defender a little bit closer before he lets it go as well.
It was good to see Galvin coming from the far wing, involving himself. Linking up, crowding that extra man. Now Newcastle, what can they do? They're in their own 22. It's 13 apiece. Fielders set deep for the kick in the pocket. Wouldn't be surprised if they maybe take the run option, though. Frost can play.
Nice scrum.
Poor pass, though, and poor execution on the kick.
And now the opposition's got the ball via the line out inside the 22.
And you see that flag by the touchy on the far side. It's really picked up the wind here.
Yeah, the rain's coming, but not ordered yet.
Hard rains are going to fall.
A lot of these boys come off farms, so they're keen for the rain after the footy.
Ball's thrown in.
Spoiled
For now
again.
takes it. So the set piece at the line out not really working for the Coast all game. Ball comes out. Fielder forced to take a run. They weren't set. They just weren't aware. And again, now Frost running off his own line. The long ball out. Now there's space for Credlin. Credlin taken in a hard tackle by Galvin. Puts a foot out.
It's good defence, Central Coast. Still down here.
Galvin came in with the first shot and Dark finished him off. So Newcastle, they'd almost backed themselves with this line out, and look at the big ball by Frost. You can see why he's number 10 for the University side of Newcastle. Playing what was in front of him. So here's Drennan. Off the top. They do well. Witt with the ball to his captain there.
He had a few extra forwards out in the back line to give him some numbers.
Vitali it was. They go back towards the right. Here's Peden. Peden with space. Peden kicks inside. It's knocked down and thrown out in disgust by Cridlin.
A penalty.
So that's going to be a penalty. I'm not sure what for. So quick tap taken. There's plenty of space out wide. Hannell bats the ball on. And that'll be a knock on, but that'll be a penalty.
No, not back to 10.
The quick tap was taken. So Newcastle defending their line.
Forward runner.
And Vitali comes through. Gets the ball back nicely. Witt calling for it. Witt steps off his left. It's been ripped out. It's been turned over, has it? As we see Newcastle turning the ball over. Short side here. He's going to have to stay in this time. He's dancing with the sideline. Is Cridland. Ball comes back. Fielder gets it on the outside of the boot and finds the crowd.
Gives him a bit of space, a bit of a clearing kick there.
He was under a lot of pressure. They've got a couple out again here. The Coast.
Since Drennan's come on, the line-out throws have been a little bit more spot on.
Oh, and that one's scrappy. Just couldn't hold it there. Big Finn Johnson. So Fielder getting it. Ball under pressure taken by Johnston.
Great run, that one, from the 8.
Bouncing out. Oh, penalty though. So flooding the breakdown. Trying to consolidate the ball. The Newcastle side just not staying on their feet. And this is right in front of the sticks. And this is going to be a kick for goal here. So this will edge the Central Coast in front.
Yep.
Right in front. 35 out. A fairly easy task in any training day, but it's not training day, it's game day. It's the Rowlands Cup final.
I could talk you through my one and only attempt at conversion right in front on the 22. Toe poke. It did not get off the ground and didn't make the try line. So that was the end of my kicking career.
But you didn't play with a kicking tee though, did you?
That's true.
Straight out of the ground, toe poke. Comes in, hits it. Looks good, but it's gone wide. That breeze just getting into the last instance, so it'll be a 22 here.
What are we inside the last 10?
Oh, it's been charged down, but for now comes up with it. Inside the last 10 we are indeed. Scores locked up 13 apiece. They go right. Ball in front. Alex Lloyd takes it.
We've got numbers on that side.
There's Rouse. They go to Rouse. He's quick. Gets away. Gets a ball inside to Frost. Fielder now. They look like they've got a spring in their step, the Newcastle side. Connolly that was that time coming on the field. Tonks goes back towards Rouse. Rouse again with open space. He's got one on the inside. Goes to Tonks. And Tonks will score a try against the run of play, against how the game's been going. And Newcastle hit the lead.
A very, very good try. That you picked it well. They just went ahead. The Newcastle team just lifted, managed to get out wide, and they kept on trying to find that fast man out wide and, cut them to ribbons out there.
Yeah, Tonks, good backing up try by the halfback. What about that? Rousey's been the difference out there today as we look at the replay here. We see him open up. We know he's got plenty of toe. Draws and pass. That's skill. We haven't seen skill like that all game. The draw and pass, it's been there all game. And that could be the final try with still 7 minutes to play. We saw earlier in the Colts game, the Central West side, they came up with a win at the death.
Yeah, very exciting the last few minutes of that Colts game. You could see they were aiming for that winger over there, that they really wanted to give him the ball. They wanted his pace, and they could see him getting around his man, and you're right, draw and pass, and the rest was just too easy. Good try, though, very good try, and they just lifted their intensity, got the reward.
18-13 the score. This is a real pressure kick here from the sideline. And as Lloyd comes in, headsets. And it's waved away. I thought it may have just snuck over.
Looked like a nice kick to me, but what do I know? But anyway, so they're still in it. A converted try. They'll be aiming for that.
18-13. Something under the sticks is what the Central Coast need to order. Oh, that's a great restart. It. Pinpoint accuracy there. Ball comes out. They're using width again. Frost throwing that long ball again.
They figured out that the Coast have got that compressed defence and they're trying to get round them out wide.
Cridlin does well this time and directs his run back towards his forwards. They slowed the ball down. Bauer getting it to Connolly. Connolly turned in the tackle, but he'll get the ball back, and the kick over the top, the box kick. What can they do? Galvin with a step. They're going to have to realign here, Newcastle. Galvin getting outside, running away from a couple, still going Galvin. Gets them to 40 in some good field position. The dummy, the jink, almost slicing through. Yeah, penalty.
Yeah, and I think he's had enough.
This could be a card here. Yeah, he's had enough for sure. Newcastle will do well to hold on to this match. Johnston leaving the field. Shake of the head in disbelief, but he's put up with a lot, the referee up there today, and that was
pretty blatant.
Ill discipline and very blatant.
Great kick.
Yeah, what a kick. So now, can the Central Coast get this line out right? As we see the man on the naughty chair,
and
Johnston.
More troops coming on for both sides here.
So big. Matt Schenko comes on. He started the match.
And with Starkey.
Fielder coming from the ground. Expected a bit more from Fielder, but he did well in those dying stages, was instrumental in a couple of those searching run down the touchline. Oh, comes off the back. Central Coast get him. Bradford nails him, and they pick and drive the Coast. They're threatening. Can Newcastle? They're going to have to watch creeping forward there. For now, looks like he could have been almost offside from where we're sitting. The ball taken. Oh, he's through the other side. Newcastle desperately need to realign. They go. The long searching speculator. Rouse. He's up to the task, though. Vitali, the captain. He's been all over the ball, Vitali. There's a pick and drive now. Manuo. Standing out wide, Carver stepping inside. Almost being hit with a big shot there.
Want this ball back quick, the Coast.
He's received a bit of attention, Carver.
No, they held him up.
Interesting there, couldn't get the ball back, so it'll be a Newcastle scrum and the pressure will be on them on their own line. 3 minutes to play.
Very good defence there by the Newcastle boys. They really muscled up.
18-13. Both sides come here to win today. The Rowlands Cup, the best of the New South Wales country's Colts. And it's been a tough, tight display all game.
So with Marcinsko on, this will be an interesting scrum. They'll be looking to push them way off their ball here. They'll need to be good, Newcastle.
Yeah, he was the difference early on with a couple of those tight heads. Marchenko. Tonks has the ball. They get the ball nicely. They go to Lloyd. He gets a good clearing kick down the field.
Just chews up some time. Gives him a breather.
Sorry, it was Reese, not Lloyd, who's come onto the field in place of Fielder. So he's playing in at fly half. He's a clever footballer. Young Reese. Ball off the back. Marchenko holds it up nicely. Almost coming through there was Carver.
That's right.
Oh, stolen fair and square. They'll have to flood this breakdown, Newcastle. Tonks is caught. So Frost has it. Little chip over the top. A little bit too much distance, though. The chase is good. Met nicely by Cridlin. Cridlin, he's been pretty good today, Cridlin, on the wing.
Yeah, he has.
So now the Coast, they realign. Oh, picked up and driven into the ground by Hills. There was a little knock on, I thought, of the back as Carver takes a scooting run.
They need to go left. They've got the numbers out wide.
Is there a turnover there? I think there is, yes. There is as Tonks sets back, kicks for Rouse on the touchline, out on the full. So a little bit of panic play there. Newcastle side probably should have set up for some phases, Barry.
Yeah, absolutely. Kicking the ball away, trying to chew up some time, I think, on the sideline. But at this stage, with only 5 points in this, you want ball in hand.
30 seconds to go, but there's probably, by my reckoning, about 3 minutes of injury time with a couple of players gone down in the second half. So Caulfield, he's coming on the pitch again. Looks like he may go into the back row.
Yeah, he's going to join. The referee's going to let him in, that's fine. No, he's going to leave it.
So can the Coast come up with a set piece here? They desperately need it. Goes to Peden at the back, over the top. And Tonks is there to clean up. And that's a good heavy contact at the breakdown. Frost looking to throw that long ball again. Oh, gets a nice ball to his university teammate in Lloyd.
He's played well, Frost.
Oh, it's been kicked. What's all that about? Here comes Hannell. So there's still plenty to play for.
You've got to love watching Colts play football. Fair
to get the turnover there, and that is a penalty. Off their feet. Quick tap taken. Here they come, the Coast. It's a tight one.
Patience here in real line, boys. That's what they need.
Vanua trying to get over the ball. Here's Marchenko. The big man takes it forward, and Newcastle have stolen the ball. The ball comes back to Bauer. Bauer kicks it out, and that will be game, set, and match. 18-13. Newcastle win the Rowlands Cup. Thanks for joining us, Barry. We'll see you for the main game.
Pleasure.
You've got official duties now, and that was a great game in the end.
Great game in the end. And look, Central Coast, good to go. They were unlucky, but Newcastle hung in there, got the chocolates.
So that'll be the Rowlands Cup final. Newcastle come out winners 18-13. We're going to take a quick break and come back with all the Caldwell Cup action.
Thanks, Central Coast. Thanks, Coasty. Very exciting game.